Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for my client Ted's vlog, but a quick reminder, if you guys would please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not following or subscribed, please do so, and if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I'd appreciate that so much. Thank you. Let's get over to the training for our Conjugate Max. We did the strict overhead press. He did 205, that's a PR. All right, so press day, pretty straightforward, guys. We do lots of other pressing. We do a lot of closed grip benching. We do closed grip incline. We do closed grip overhead press. We do closed grip for him because it feels better on his shoulders. He's been stronger at it. And quite frankly, his pecs have been coming up. You know, was very delt dominant, but now that I've been training him a bit with some of this, people noted in some of the recent physique updates, chest is coming up, chest is getting bigger. So we're happy with it. But I mean, we've hit 255 on a closed grip, 225 on an incline, 205 on a press. Coming along really well. Overall happy with it. But again, because a lot of his other side hobbies are fighting related sports, does a couple combat sports recreationally. And so we try to do the stuff that's going to carry over better, to the boxing, to the grappling, to the other stuff. So again, we just go with the closer grip and it's just easier on his shoulders. Then for this phase, we're doing weighted chin-ups. That's a pretty decent amount of weight there. So we're doing I believe that's 60 pounds. I'm going to have to go back and check the notes. Then axle bar rows. So again, I'd said before, we do want to start doing more and more stuff for his grip. Well, there you have it, guys, axle bar rows. I'm a big fan of these, by the way, for grip training. I used to use these a lot. There's a point where I may work these back in myself, but yeah, those axle bar rows, they are phenomenal exercise. They bring so much to the table just for overall grip. So again, I love these myself. I'm a big fan. I'll probably add some of these back in as I get leaner and I'm no longer doing hours of cardio. I might start doing stuff like that again. Again, just to bring up those forearms and grip. And now we have him doing some more traditional skull crushers. We've been doing these incline and it's a flat. So again, for him, these are okay. We're not running them for long periods of time. We're rotating through these different movements so we can get away with this traditional skull crusher. I'm a big fan of this exercise if your tendon can handle it. I think it works great. I oftentimes do the one I do because of the benefit of that pullover movement. But I like to do those sometimes also. And I think for me, if I do a pullover too, we're good. His case though, his long head is good. We just build triceps, build triceps, build triceps. And that's the name of the game for him. And it works well. Because he needs it for just his pressing power, everything else. So here we also have him doing some curls. He does a lot of different types of curls, mainly because he just likes arms. But again, he does grappling and stuff, never a bad thing. All right, back squat, PR this week. So we did a traditional, normal ass to grass back squat. What do we get here? We got 410. So 405 had been a lifetime PR. We got 410 this time. So this week we hit two PRs on big lifts, some kind of pretty much classic lifts, so strict press. And then of course, on this same day, we do good mornings, right? We do good mornings. We do, so again, this phase we're running them on the camber bar. We were running on the SSB last phase. This phase we're doing a little bit of camber bar, working them up, getting stronger at this. So again, we want all that hip extension. This is his weak link right now. Keep in mind, we pulled 500 conventional, we did 525 sumo, and this is where we are still with good morning. So that tells us that posterior chain, those hamstrings, are still the weak link. Very, very good quads and everything else. So we keep hammering that. We keep hammering those hamstrings. We keep hammering that posterior chain because that's what he needs to progress. But it doesn't mean we neglect quads and stuff, right? So here we're going to just do heavier, machine squats, right? And we do these from a dead stop for him. He likes them. I don't mind him doing them that way. Because again, someone who needs to do grappling and other stuff, some dead stop training, never a bad thing. Of course, I'm a big fan of various dead stop training. So I like even axle bar rows and stuff off the floor. Really fantastic exercise. So then what else we see here is going to be glute ham raises, which I put in here. Right, we threw in some glute ham raises. which you'll see coming up next. And I also, before we went over to the speed work, even though the chins and the curls coming up, I just wanted to show a couple different stuff we're doing. I like having a different angle for the chins in here. Not a bad thing, so I threw that in also. So we have the glute ham raises. Again, always doubling down on this posterior chain and hamstring for him. So good mornings, glute ham raises, reverse hypers. We didn't throw reverse hyper footage in. We didn't need it this week. Again, I have to trim these down to get them reasonable. Like, nobody wants to watch a 25-minute vlog. They just don't. So we're doing the glute ham raises, and I threw in chins, and then him doing kind of like a standing type incline curl. He just does lots of biceps. I don't program biceps. I just put curls. I let him run wild with it. You know, he's got good bicep development, not a weakling for him. He can do whatever type of curls he wants. But again, pull-ups, we do tend to rotate the grips between chins and pull-ups and stuff. So in this phase, we're doing, obviously, chins, right? So again, better for overall biceps. I like overhand grip for a little better lat personally, but you're not going to have bad lats by doing chins. So we do a lot of chins in rows for him. His lats have come up, as you guys have seen from some of the pictures we've done. Here he is doing like a standing incline curl up against the bench. So again, another just variation, keep the biceps growing, right? With his relatively low body fat and small waist, because he does have abs, as you guys have seen in the other pics. The big biceps always look really good with that, right? And the leaner you are and the smaller your waist, the bigger your arms look. So that always helps him. And he does that even though he's not a physique guy. He doesn't care. He still looks like one. Even training like an athlete, all that conjugate, because he still does arms. He always does a lot of biceps. You just stay lean and get really strong and train your biceps. You're probably going to have a good physique by almost all standards short of competitive bodybuilding, right? Speed bench, we're doing waves still with, we're doing bands, right? We're doing the waves with the bands. Of course, I'll be rotating through some grips and stuff, I think, for him more and more to where we do wide, medium, close and stuff. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I've thought about doing that more and more with him. But he does really, really like the close grip. So we do tend to work with that for the most part, mainly due to comfort, due to, again, his needs. Then, of course, for this phase, we're doing normal speed boxes, right? We're doing our box squats with just a normal bar. We rotate some of this around a little bit. He didn't set up bands for this one, so he's just doing straight weight. I give him, depending on what he's got for time, because he has trouble of setting up the bands. I have numbers for him that we've agreed upon for either approach, whether he wants to just use straight weight or bands. If he's got time to set up bands, we do that. But pretty much there you see he's got like, I think 225 on the bar. Right, we got 225 on the bar for that, which works great for that. And then a speed pulls, we're doing conventional on a deficit against bands for this wave. And yes, it still matters. Accommodating resistance on a deficit deadlift still has actually amazing lockout strength. This is what we need for him. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.